Alright, so I am up on top of the master suite here in my villa in Bali. It's kind of an interesting view. Someone's having a birthday party or something over there. But this cool little work spot up here is where I'm gonna drop probably 3 to 4 really key golden nuggets for anyone doing any sort of e-commerce product, whether it's off AliExpress or not, okay? I'm gonna go through, talk about why I picked this product, why there's such a wide variety of products you can do, and even the stupidest stuff, like this product to me, I would never purchase. I could never see myself, even if I was a woman or like being around a woman who would purchase this. I don't know, it makes no sense to me. This is a really, really weird product. You're gonna understand what it is here in a second. However, it's very niche and there's a market for niche things. You know, for example, people who like hand-carved wooden ducks, right? There's always a market for something. So I wanna explain that, I wanna explain a little bit about why I picked the product, what my testing strategy looked like on Facebook, both from a picking interest standpoint, because I didn't come into this with data. It was a fresh Facebook pixel with a brand new store in a little bit of a subcategory niche that I'd never tapped into before. And to be honest, I did not know if it was gonna work. And that's the situation that I'm typically in when I'm running an e-commerce product, okay? So for those of you who are actively running an e-commerce business, whether it's on Shopify, WooCommerce, or any other platform, it could even be something on eBay, just go ahead and drop a like down below so that I know you're with me here, so I can go make more videos for the people who are trying, whether you're just getting started, maybe already making some money, or you're blowing it out the water, making a ton of money. Let me know if that is you. Are you actively running or trying to run an e-commerce product? I would appreciate it, all right? But with that being said, let's take a quick look at the product here and break it all down, all right? All right, and this is pretty much what I look like regardless most of the day while I'm working. But anyways, I wanted to show you this product. This is not the exact supplier I was doing or using. This is actually something I did about 11 to 12 months ago. I remember that because I was in Thailand while this one was blowing up. And that was 1 year ago to today when I was in Thailand. I was there for a little while though. So this product right here, I'm not gonna, waste any more of your time like teasing it. This is a really interesting product. I believe I was sourcing it for like $1.10. Probably wasn't this high of quality. But anyways, these are like healing crystal stone necklaces, okay? Now, why did I decide to do this? Okay, there was 2 things. First thing, I saw a supplier on AliExpress continue to have their orders go up. So what happened is I kept looking at one, I had seen an ad for it and it had like a whole bunch of comments. So that to me is a good indication that it's working, right? If I come across an ad, I was just scrolling through Instagram actually, and it came across that, okay? And I saw that had like, 4,000 something comments, and which is not the craziest amount for an ad, but I'm like, let's look into it. That's something I always like to do, is I just look into it. It takes 2 minutes. So I fly over to AliExpress, I take a look, and there's a supplier there with like 11,000 orders. And I'm like, okay, doesn't mean that I should do it necessarily, but let's just take a look. So what I did, I just kept that tab open. This is something I always do whenever I see an interesting product. I have a whole window in my computer for this, where anything I see that looks interesting, I'll just leave that AliExpress supplier open. Then every like 2 to 3 days, I'll just go refresh each of those tabs and I'll see which ones are jumping up in sales. So it went like another 700 orders in the 2 to 3 day window. And so I saw that, I'm like, okay, someone's selling it. Let me look into the audience. Who am I gonna be targeting? What even is this product? Because again, I am not someone who would personally ever go ahead and buy this. Like, I don't know. In my opinion, the whole healing crystal stuff is a bunch of bogus. But regardless, there apparently is a very large niche for it, one with about 10 to 15 million people. So I was looking on Facebook, I was looking at different interests. So I started typing in like enchantment, right? Like things that related to like spiritual stuff. So I started searching all these different things inside the Facebook Business Manager, and I started finding more and more interests. Now, it was a wide variety of different things that I came across. There was some for healing crystals directly. There was some for like some sort of enchantment. There was like 4 different e-commerce companies, and this is one thing I always love to do, where I can see another e-commerce company that is actively selling the same or a similar product. Now, whenever you come across this, keep in mind, an e-commerce store is probably named something weird, right? Someone just came up with it. So you're not gonna know what it is. It's not just gonna be like spiritual crystals, right? It's gonna be like, I don't know, like hula necklaces where you're like, what the hell is this? But go look it up. Go look into that and see if it's something selling similar things. Because if it actually comes up as an interest, typically if it's another e-commerce store, it's gonna be a much smaller interest than something general like enchantment. However, it's still gonna be a couple 100,000, maybe a couple million. So it is big enough to target right away. It's something where you can still run and pull some sales from that audience. So one thing I like to do is I like to pull from different pockets. And let me explain what this is. This is one of my huge Facebook concepts when it comes to testing the audience. Let's say that I want to sell, and this is an example I've used before, like a protein shaker bottle, right? Something where you shake it and it mixes up your protein, okay? Who would you target for that, right? What is that? And stick with me here because this is very important if you're trying to do anything with Facebook ads. You should be targeting multiple pockets of this audience who are potentially interested in that product. What do I mean by that? You could do protein. You could do protein shake, milkshake, gym, different workout brands, people interested in weightlifting, weight loss, Weight Watchers, different types of audience, different diets, right? Protein high, like very protein rich diets. Look up all this stuff because here's your bottle, here's your product, right? The shaker bottle. You're hitting every single different type of pocket of audience, and some of them are not gonna work. But the only way to find that out is by actually running it. So for me, that's one key thing. I always like to test different types of the audience just to get a sense of what is working and what can potentially work. So I'll go find like 5 to 10, sometimes a little more audiences that I think would be very good tests. Now, a lot of people ask me, how long am I letting these run for? Blah, blah, blah. I'll explain what I did for this product specifically just to keep it focused around this because this made me nearly $50,000 in a fairly short amount of time. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. I wasn't putting a ton of attention on it because back then I was actually focusing on something else when I was in Thailand, and it kind of was actually a focus that failed, funny enough, one of my bigger business failures. Regardless, this product I was selling for a free plus shipping offer. So I think that was actually one of the last offers that I'd ever done. And I've done one since then. It's actually something I'm running right now where it's free plus shipping. So some of you might know this concept. You're giving the product away for free. They just pay X amount for shipping. In this situation, it was like $14.95. So if you go look up this product anywhere else, you can get it on Amazon from like $9 to $25. So I like to hit kind of in the middle of that range, and I always have to make sure I have margin. So I was getting this for, again, I think it was like $1.10 or something like that. And so, and that's free shipping. So the margin was very, very high from the product itself, which means on Facebook, now I have like a $13 to $14 margin to get that cost per purchase, to acquire that customer. So for me, I was running my daily budget at a mix between $5 and $10 a day ad sets. Here's one of the little golden nuggets for you. Another one, if you guys are trying to determine what you should be running your budget at, this is a good rule of thumb, an industry rule. If you're selling your product for $30, you should primarily, you could test other things, but you should primarily be running $10 a day ad sets. Okay, if you're selling it for 60, you should do 20s. And now what does that math work out to be? Every 3 days, your daily ad spend should roughly equal how much you're selling the product for. So that's something I'm trying to always hit on. Like for an example, if I'm selling this couch, right, for $300, that situation might be different. I am probably not gonna go run when it's a very high ticket product. I'm not gonna go run it at a third of that. I might do $50, right? So I might try and get up there a little bit more. But when it's a product that's under like $50 to $80, 70 to 100, you could follow that 1/3 rule. So for me, I had a lot of different $5 and $10 a day ads running with this product. Now I found that multiple pockets of the audience didn't work, but I remember this because it was cool. There were multiple types that did work. So I actually ended up targeting out once I had already found those. I tried stuff like yoga, tried hot yoga, I remember this. And I tried different things that related to that, like spiritual beings. I tried people interested in religion, and I did a lot of research on that because I wanted to see who would potentially be interested in this product. So it wasn't the most wild product that I've ever done. I've had products that have done just about that much in a single day. And for me to do that over a 60-day period, it really wasn't anything too crazy. I got it to about 1,000 to 1,200 a day, which is great, but it was with minimal effort. Right? I didn't really scale the ads hard. There were still a bunch of $5 and $10 a day ads running. I didn't do much, and it was primarily interest-based. So I didn't move to lookalikes, do a bunch of retargeting. It was something that, it was a cool front-end offer that converted very quickly. So I was able to do it, and I was just making like a couple $100 a day profit minimum with very little work, like an hour every couple days. So, I always like to do stuff like this where I'm just trying multiple different products. I've actually started like 5 new stores in the last 45 days. A couple of them are already starting to work really well, and the reason I did that is because it takes time to build something. So when this did like a little over 45,000 in the 60 days, in about 2 months, almost all of that money came within like a 5-week period. It took 2 to 3 weeks to build up to that, right? To find those interests that were working and then to build off of it. Because at a $15 average order value, right, free plus shipping, I'm not making a ton of money per sale. It's a very small amount. So even if I'm getting 10 orders a day, that's only $150. You know, so I was starting to get like 2 to 3 sales a day, and then 4 or 5, and then it would fluctuate a little bit. Started getting the pixel built up, got like my first 100 sales, 150, and then everything started just picking up exponentially. So that's one thing for me, I always focus on that. I primarily do Facebook. A lot of people might say try Twitter, try YouTube, try Instagram, and that is definitely something you can do. However, I just put my attention on Facebook because it's something that people might be confused about if you've been watching me for a long time, because my old strategy used to be always start with influencers, get data, and then go to Facebook. And while that does work, I prefer to build it on Facebook just because I've found that it allows me to scale further on the back end. So I can transition that data into Facebook, but when I started from scratch in the very first place, I tend to know my audience much better, and I'd done a bunch more research. So that always tends to help me later when I'm trying to find more audiences. So a product like this, literally something in my opinion that is just so stupid. Like a product that I would never wear. I've never seen anyone have this, but you know what? There's a market for it. There's always a niche for everything. Like my example at the beginning of this video, a hand-carved wooden duck. You gotta be a specific type of person if you wanna own that, and you're willing to pay for it. However, there's almost always someone interested in everything, okay, or in anything, not everything. So that to me is something that's interesting. Like for an example, this big vase that's right here. I would never buy that, but the person who owns this house did. Right? Think about it. There's always someone for something. So the real key there is finding a product that has some sort of demand, and I'm never trying to sell a product that, I'm wanting to make work. It's something I already know is working. That's just like how I found this product, right? I saw an ad that had a lot of comments. I went ahead, followed with a supplier for a little while, just kept refreshing, seeing if they were getting more orders, and it turns out they were, and so I started testing it, okay? And for me, I already knew it was working, so now it was just a matter of getting it working for me. Okay, so that was my main focus there. What I want to do right now, if you guys have any questions about maybe one of those two things, struggling with finding the right product, or with Facebook, anything you're doing with your ads, please drop something as specific as you possibly can in the comment section down below. I want to go make like 2 separate videos, one on product research where I more so do it as like a Q&A, and the same thing on Facebook, just to answer a lot of myths and break down barriers. And there's a lot of stuff in this industry that people just won't tell you. So I want to be as transparent with you as possible, okay? So if you have a problem, I'm gonna do my best to comment to every single person and potentially put that together in a video. So just go ahead, be as specific as possible so I can help you out. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like down below. That's all I ask. Hope you're crushing it. And again, if you're just starting to get into the e-commerce space, my biggest piece of advice for you, and I feel like this is important because I can assume that some people in that situation are watching this. If you're just getting started and you're not making a whole bunch of money yet, and you might not have the biggest amount of money to invest, please be very careful with how you spend your money marketing, okay? If you do not know how to run ads, you should not be marketing at all yet. You should learn that first. And now the only real way to learn and get very good is to do it, but get some source of information. You have to know. If you're asking a very basic question, then you're not in a position to be spending money on Facebook ads, because you should have a good understanding of it before you get in. Otherwise, trust me, I know this from experience. I went broke when I was starting. You're just gonna get stepped on. Your money's gonna disappear. You're gonna be like, whoa, what just happened? And it's terrible. So I wanna make sure you guys are not in that situation. So if you have any questions, anything you're struggling with, just drop it in the comment section down below. I'm gonna do my best to get back to each and every single one of you. Again, I'd greatly appreciate it if you drop the like down below. And if you're not already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace.